Hello everyone, greetings from Raw Dreams. I'm Alysha Tharani, founder of Raw Dreams. We are a futurist education and skills consultancy working from primary school to corporates on dream mapping, skill development and more. Today we are going to understand how to create the perfect CV. Let's first understand what a CV means. CV stands for Curriculum Vitae. It's a brief outline which is efficient in communicating your educational qualification and professional accomplishments. Basically, it's my own marketing document to anyone who's interested in hiring me. So let's understand step by step how to create the perfect CV. Number one, understand that different organizations and different fields demand different kinds of resumes. For example, if you're focusing on design, then more important than words that you put in the document, it's important to have the perfect design. For example, if you're applying for a position in design, then more than the words that you put in, it's also about the effectiveness of your design and how simple and confident it looks. Second, for example, if you're applying for a technical position, then more important than your design is the qualification and experience that you bring on board. Say, for example, you're applying for a creative job. Then more than anything else, it's about the creativity that you show through your portfolios and work so far. So once you understand which kind of organization or field that you're applying in, let's start with the most basic things. Number one is your personal details, which comprises of your name, contact details, your address, your email address, and if the position requires a particular age group, then your date of birth as well. The second step is identifying your objective statement. Now today a lot of organizations do not look for an objective statement, but if you still have to mention it, then keep it 2 to 3 lines at max. Make sure that it communicates your aspirations that can be fit into the company as well as the company's aspirations and position that can support your aspirations too. Number 3, professional qualifications or experience. If you've already worked for a few years, then it's best to mention your work experience before your educational qualifications. In that, start with the most recent one and go on to the last one. The same thing follows with the educational qualification. Start with your most recent qualification or certification and go up to school. Once you're done with this, it's time to identify your achievements. Achievements is where you share all your accomplishments, all the amazing work that you've done so far so the world can see and appreciate you for it. In the achievement section, please understand what really can contribute to your resume. Make sure that you're not identifying things like, oh, I was a school topper, say till 10 standard. It's not something that is as relevant and important to your job application. And then follow it up with your language proficiencies. Given globalization today, the amount of work, the variety of work that can be accomplished is very high. So including in your proficiency, also mention how fluent you are in that language, be it in reading, writing, understanding or communicating. Once you're done with that, it's time for our most favorite part, skill sets. These are the things that make you special, that make you separate, that make you the shining star as to why I would like to hire you from all the candidates that have applied here. Align it with the company goals again, and also if you see there's a connection that you can discuss it in your interview round, please do mention it. But do not write things like, hey, I'm an amazing driver, or I can race, or I can do things like that which are not at all relevant to your particular job. If they are, then it's amazing, but if they're not, please avoid them. And last but not the least, it's time to mention your references. References cannot be your relatives or best friends. They have to be work references. I'm not saying you can't be friends with your references, but they cannot be just your friends. In that, you need to mention their contact details, their name, phone number, email ID, and the organization that they are working in. Once you've got the basic format and details right, it is time to check for a few things. One is today, because most of the resumes and CVs are checked online, it is best to make sure that you include a LinkedIn profile link. It adds to your professional value and reference. Number 2 is making sure that the font is readable online. And if I'm to print it and then read it, then it's still readable and it doesn't hurt my eyes. Number 3, do the spell check and grammatical error checks. You do not want the employer to know that you don't care about the information that you put out there. Number 4, make it a PDF format. Irrespective of whichever software I'm using on my laptop or computer or desktop, It will be easier for me to access it, read it without hurting or changing the format that you've sent it to me. Also note that there are a lot of formats which are already available online that you can check. For a few selected ones, you can go through our website blog page. Once you follow all the above steps, they are very simple to execute and you have your CV ready. There's no harm in sharing it with a few friends who are working in those fields, who can guide you better if there's something that you've still missed out. So all the best. I'm sure if you follow the above steps, you'll have the perfect resume nobody can refuse to. Take care.